March 15th here in Southern Ontario, Canada. So what is Canada's real debt? Literal debt. Well, before I get into that, do remember when he came to power, he inherited from the Stephen Harper Conservative government, his predecessor. We were in the black. Canada, Harper had balanced the books and there was actually money in the bank. I forget the exact sum now. I could have looked it up. It was in the billions. It wasn't huge, but it was in the black. Then he said the books would balance themselves, and then he said, oh, well, we'll have it balanced by 2019. So now they tell us that the deficit is 1.2 trillion with a T. But here's the thing, that 1.2 trillion hasn't changed, according to our WEF Minister of Finance, Chrystia Freeland. Hasn't changed in 3 years. They keep telling us it's 1.2 trillion. Despite the fact the Bank of Canada, for the first time ever in Canadian history, is in the hole. How far in the hole is it? Well, I could only find figures up until last fall where it was $441 billion. So that was last fall. So we'll round that up to 500. That's a half a trillion. That takes us to 1.7, doesn't it? Sure does. And in the last quarter of last year, the Bank of Canada lost, let me check now, $511 million just in that one quarter. Whoa. So what's the real deficit? Oh, heavens only knows. I don't know, and they ain't telling us, that's for sure. They don't want us to know. And the Bank of Canada's debt is going to increase because the way Trudeau printed money, what's his name? Poilievre's always harping on about this. The way Trudeau printed money was he had the Bank of Canada issue savings bonds, which they themselves then bought. Well, I should say the Bank of Canada bought them. So, talk about paper money. Whoa! But the Bank of Canada bought them for more money than their printed value was. And we're paying interest cumulatively on all of that. So, what is our real debt? And for the first time ever, the Bank of Canada is in the hole. Big time. Big time. Yeah. Good work, Trudeau. I guess the books aren't really balanced, or the budget really isn't balancing itself. When I say we can't afford to keep this guy around any longer, well, in this case, I'm just talking about money.